What's going on, everyone? Badger here. Be sure to like and sub, and let's get into this. So, we all know that there's not much hope these days in modern media. Certainly not anything of quality coming out of modern comics. Those have been completely corrupted, subverted, whatever fun little word you want to use. But in the past, there's beautiful comics, beautiful stories, books, all those things that haven't been ruined yet. We were just talking about the first comic book I ever owned was Marvel versus DC, the third issue, and it had some sort of world-ending event where the universes were colliding and the heroes from each universe had to fight each other to see who was worthy to go on. Toys R Us back in the day got this. I've been looking for this comic. I've seen it in eBay and other places, Amazon. I only had the third issue. There's like 6 of them, right? I want all of them. Well, look at this. Just as I was really finally ready to go on eBay and buy a bunch of old things that probably overpriced, Marvel and DC Comics to republish their crossovers, including Amalgam, which is the one I was just talking about. So you have Once Upon a Time in a place called the 90s. Oh boy, I wish we could go back. And the early noughties. Marvel and DC Comics crossovers were pretty common. Batman, Punisher, Silver Surfer, Superman, Batman, Daredevil. You get the idea. Amalgam Comics was one of the final Marvel and DC comic crossovers in which comic book characters from each universe and publisher were smushed together to create new ones. They first appeared in a series of 12 one-shots that sat between issues 3 and 4 of the 12-issue series DC Comics versus Marvel Comics series from 1996, presented as if the Amalgam Comics publisher had existed for decades, with stories and editorial comments referring to fictional history. Yeah, and I remember being confused with what was going on, but they had Wolverine and Batman together as Dark Claw, Superman and Captain America, Lobo and Donald Duck. Yeah. And I only knew that because at the end of the third issue that I had, there were all these like, well, I guess real comics, but fake comic book characters for the Amalgam universe. A second series of 12 one-shots was published in 1997. 6 of the issues were published by DC and 6 by Marvel. Each was followed by Access miniseries, the first by DC and the second by Marvel, which featured new amalgam, however they wanted to say it, amalgam characters. And then I'm pretty sure it's amalgam, but and then that was that. It was followed by JLA Avengers crossover a few years later, but in the 20 years, but it's been still super popular. Like I said, I was just talking about it with a friend. DC Comics and the Marvel Comics have not crossed over for a while. And then, of course, the editorial sides fell out badly, courtesy of Joe Quesada and Bill Yemis' antics and Paul Levitt's and Paul Wayne's residence. Jesus Christ. Irwin, they got your thesaurus, buddy. They're using it right here. And then Disney bought Marvel with the rivalry between Disney and Warner Brothers brought to the fore. And that was it. It took George Perez's impending death to see them republish Avengers versus Justice League crossover with a short run a couple of years ago. I never read that one. So the 24 amalgam one-shots have been reprinted in 4 trade paperbacks, 2 from each publisher. I'm getting them all. And they have been long out of print. Yeah, like I said, I was literally about to get them from eBay. In his private Facebook art collector group, artist Barry Kitson, who had worked in a couple of these crossovers, posted Marvel and DC are collaborating on reprinting many of the amalgam titles, including Magneto and Magnetic Man, and the crossover events, including Batman Punisher. To this end, they have asked for any extras that can be cool. So he's giving them all their extra. Oh, this is some rough, but still. Okay. So word is out. Here's the list of the amalgam characters. So we're going to do all of these, including Speed Demon and all the mixed, some weird mixtures. Bruce Wayne, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's the one that was in the back that I always wondered, what the hell would that be like? Oh, yeah, I will probably get all of these. And then here's the crossover. Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, Superman and Spider-Man, Batman versus the Incredible Hulk. Man, some of these I've not read. So I am looking forward to see this and the other conclusions. I highly recommend you at least get the DC versus, I believe that's this one, the DC versus Marvel. That is where Superman fights the Hulk, Captain America fights Batman, Storm fights Wonder Woman. There's some good ones. Catwoman versus Elektra. Yeah, let me know down in the comments. Don't look it up. Let me know down in the comments who you think wins of those fights, especially Superman versus Hulk, because that's a good one. Yeah, this is some good news. And again, it's about an older game. I mean, even right now, all that Suicide, the older game, older comics, but that Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, it has like almost under 2,000 player base right now. But the Arkham Knight game that's 10 years old has 3,000. plus players right now in 2024. So clearly in comics and games, they have messed it up so much that we are going to play in this case, 2-decade-old comics, read them, play old games, watch old movies, because that's all we got left right now. That is all we got left until we get this under control and start making some real good quality, non-hijack things anymore that don't have to follow anyone's inclusion standards. But, thank you. Thank you for, if you stayed this long, thank you. Make sure to like, share, sub. If you've done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And, well,
bye.